Yes. All praises be to the Most High. We should be good now. We should be absolutely perfect. Let's go.
The East is where we're from. The 12 tribes of Israel. In 721 BC, the Assyrian king, he took us down, we fell. With a great escape, we went to the Euphrates. The Lord held the water still, to a land where no mankind dwelt. We went, the 12 tribes of Israel. We be Manasseh, the Cubans, Ephraim from Puerto Rico, Naphtali from the arms of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel. From Panama, yeah, the North American Indians, Simeon, the Dominican, the highest gathering Israel. The Arabs and Africans told us at gunpoint, together our wives and children then sold us. In the belly of these great ships we traveled in fear. By the rivers of Babylon we found our brothers here. A high gatherers in Colombia, from Australia, it's the coast of Mexican. A high gathering and Eagle, the nation. A high gathering in Israel.
Jumping right in. Yes, the Most High, Ahaya, is gathering Israel. I'm Elder Ricard Shiar here with your weekly broadcast. And yes, we are addressing the nation live at the same time that, quote unquote, Mr. Donald Trump is addressing the nation concerning the selection or election. But we have a more important scenario here. Okay, while the world is planning something serious against God's people, keep in mind, there's not too many outlets out there, main media or otherwise, warning our people from some of the laws that are being passed right under our noses. And that's why I wanted to jump right out at you all today with this particular broadcast, the Order of Melchizedek, order or die. Now, why did I name it that? Well, I had to go back to a time where our people, the children of Israel, were in power. And there was something special about that time. It seems like all other nations realized the power of a strong priesthood led by a righteous government, one intertwined together to protect a nation and to embolden a nation, okay, under God, to rule on earth. It takes both. It takes a moral code that's set up through a righteous priesthood, as well as a kingship guiding the government on earth righteously according to what? The traditional values instilled in that particular king for that nation by their God. Okay? When we were ordered under the order of Melchizedek, our people did what? Our family stayed together. There was righteous courts or what you would call equitable court set up to settle family disputes. There was no such thing. Divorce was almost it was unheard of to some degree. Only in insinuating circumstances were there divorce. Above all, the other nations could not engage or actually prevail against us in war. We had a unified belief in the God who saved us out of Egypt. We had laws, statutes, and commandments to rule by, to govern each other through civility. And we would have a king that was established. David on down was supposed to be, starting with David, a man after God's own heart, who would establish righteous rule from the throne. The order of Melchizedek. And it seems as if, since we've been trying to do things every other way outside of that order, our people all over the earth have suffered because of it. Now, the other nations understand the power of a unified religious system set up under a powerful governmental structure. This is why the Catholics are ran from Italy, the Pope. The papacy is a religious construct, him sitting on the throne, executing what? The rule of their God, which empowers them. Okay. The Chinese has the Dalai Lama. Okay. You have the Ayatollah over there in Iran. You have religious imams on one side. I lived in the Middle East. And in the Middle East, you have what? A governmental structure that's governed through a religious ideology as far as morality goes. Okay, that's an order. We're the only people on earth that's all over the place, coming up with our own ideas of how to get out of this. And every other nation is showing that unless we're unified religiously as well as politically, socially, unless we have that cohesive component operating on both sides, the priesthood for morality and the kingship for government, without these two components, we are destined to be utterly either in captivity forever or at the least, I should have said this first, but extinct. Extinct, and at the least serving the other nations into perpetuity because they understand both of these orders. Now, why am I going here? I need you all to look at your screen, and I'm going to bring Elder Lawyer on in a moment. Hope you all can hear me clearly here. Let me turn my mic up just a little, or bring the mic up a little closer so that it could resonate a little better. That's a little better, right? Okay. All right. It should resonate a little better now. I need you all to look at your screen. Right? Now, on your screen here, I have Elder Lawyer here. You see a Masonic motto, Ordo ab Chaos, which is order out of chaos. Order out of chaos, which is a motto, a credo that's carried out throughout the earth under the Masonic order, which means in order for the powers to progress whatever agenda they have on earth against us, they must create chaos. Because through the chaos, it gives the government full autonomy to come in to bring order. So this is why chaos, dysfunction, and all of that is more so mainstream throughout our communities because by default, it gives the government full autonomy to come in to keep constant order, to keep us under bay. So they must do what? Incentivize confusion. See, our kingdom was a little different. We can only rule through order. And if we followed the order, the Most High, the priesthood, would align all of us under one power to understand the enemy, how to engage the enemy, and on top of that, how to defend ourselves from the enemy. See, when we're not fighting ourselves and going against each other, we're able to understand the threat on the outside of us. And they understand this. At one time, we was once this way. So instead of me going back into Africa and going on, no, at what point, at what time were we protected by our God and was on code one with another? When we were under that priesthood, that order, the order of Melchizedek. We cannot survive without order. Guess what? This is how God made us. We were made to be a righteous people under one order. Not be all over the place, confused concerning what God we should serve. Now, some people out there, and I'm going to tell you right now, and this is why the other nations rule over us. When the East Indians come over here, they're not just setting up Dunkin' Donuts or businesses or whatever. They all go to a unified temple, a Babylonian priesthood, a Persian priesthood. That's right, that they learned from their traditions growing up in East India. They all come in the same community and they go to the same temples. If you go to supermarkets or you see them out casually, you'll find on their certain holy days, they'll have a red dot on their head. All of them. They're unified under one belief, one system. You don't see one a Jehovah's Witness, one a Muslim, one a Seventh-day Adventist, another an atheist. So the rules of how to actually overcome the onslaught against us, we have examples every day, but ignore them. How are other nations just ruling over us? It's not just economics. Some people would like to think, well, okay, if we can get our economics together, then, okay, maybe we can put our money together to fight against an organized order to cause chaos amongst us. It doesn't work that way. Because unless we all come under one order, what will we do with any finances? Under what order do we spend these finances? How do we establish a defense system amongst ourselves with the finances? So I know economics sound all good, but no. How can we empower ourselves strictly through economics when it's the chaos controlling the banks? Either we come under an order according to the order of Melchizedek, under one belief, one system, like we once were before the fall, or we're done, or the majority of us anyway. Now, my question is, because based on some of what I'm about to bring forth, it's too late we can't save this world. There will be no saving this world, brothers and sisters. A matter of fact, it's over. The reality is, now that we understand that the world is so far gone that there's no reeling it back, how do we get those together who's willing to be under some level of righteous order? And what to do about the rest? It's no coincidence at the very end of time. And that's where we are. The chaotic call this the age of Aquarius. That's what they call it. The chaotic ones. But it's no coincidence that at the very end, when the awakening is here and our people are finding out that we're Israel, that chaos is being incentivized in our communities. That those who have always destroyed us inwardly, morally amongst our people are being incentivized and being placed in positions of power to war against the rest of us. People with perverted lifestyles, people who don't care about God, people who hate us, looking like us. Chaos has been incentivized to bear strict rule against us. Where anytime any of us are looking to bring some level of stability, class, some level of righteousness, or good examples for us, put it this way, when there's someone who's trying to promote positivity within our communities, you'll always have others that would come to totally erode and destroy that idea before it gets an opportunity to bear fruit. It's incentivized. It's what? Like I showed you earlier. This is how they rule over us. You got it. The Masonic motto, Ordo ab Chaos. Order out of chaos. Of many symbols and phrases of Freemasonry, let me show you this. A few mottos are important enough to be prominently and sometimes publicly displayed on flags, seals, or regalia. The phrase Ordo ab Chaos is the motto of the 33rd degree, which can be found on the grand decorations of the Order of the Sovereign Grand Inspectors General, one of the highest honors and roles which can be bestowed upon a Mason. It is also featured on other seals, flags presenting various orders. Now, what is it about? When you're looking to destroy an individual or a nation or a people, as we are the children of Israel, you must create social stages for engagement. Social environments in which you can engage the people to keep them under order. So what you have to do is do what? You must incentivize evil, sin, chaos, drugs, immorality, sexual perversions to cause all types of darkness and evil in an environment, so that, because eventually what? If you put enough incendiaries together, you'll have flames. So they incentivize immorality, the destruction of family, sexual perversions, on and on and on. And then what happens? Eventually what happens? Families are divided, crime goes up, and now the Masonics, the Freemasons can now bring in their race soldiers to bring order. Even running up to this election, you see nothing but chaos. They needed this chaos. Trump working on one side, Biden on the other. And the same time they was drumming up this chaos, what was going on, brothers and sisters? They were talking about a vaccine. They were talking about keeping people still, not allowing people to travel, cutting off jobs, firing people, starving the people out. So the chaos was the smokescreen for what they're rolling out socially against God's people. Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Turn up your mic a little bit. I need you to, matter of fact, I'll turn you up. Go ahead. Go ahead. Say something.
Okay. Is this better?
It is a little better, but the sound isn't that good. But we're going to try the best we can. Go ahead.
Okay. All right.
No, don't worry about it. That you can go ahead. Let's get this. As far as the order of Melchizedek, let's give them some examples. Let's get Deuteronomy 7 and 6. And also get the fact that our people don't consider out of the Bible. We have no idea the threat we're under as a people. Elder Lawyer. Okay. Out of nowhere, it disconnected, then connected when I said that. This is crazy. It seemed like the other nations knew that these inoculations the whole time were components of population control to keep us at bay, to keep us sick, to have us die early. Because they kind of figured a sick slave is a sick black man is a more subservient black man. But go ahead, Elder Lawyers. Deuteronomy 7 and 6. Let's go. Okay, something happened there. I can't hear you, Elder Lawyer. You were fine earlier. Hold on 1 second, brothers and sisters, because he was fine a couple of seconds ago.
How about now? Is it better now?
Yeah, it's better now. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse number 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
The Bible says, the Lord our God have chosen us to be a special people above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Now, what made us special? Not just us being black. What made us special, brothers and sisters, were the laws. When some of you get an opportunity, you need to read those laws again. When it comes to civility, how to settle differences one amongst another as a people. Guess what? Every area when it comes to how to coexist is written in the law. If someone steals from me, how much I'm to indemnify that person or restore that person financially. If someone was to harm someone in my family, what civil code was in place to indemnify or restore that relationship. If something happens where there's marital differences, guess what? All of those are contained in the law. It all is contained there. So he chose us to be a special people under a specific order. And through this order, our connection between us and our God, it now has a what? A residual effect. It has a reflect where it trickles down on how we operate as family, how we deal with our children, and how that extends to all our neighbors as an extended family. Now, that's a problem if I believe one thing on my block or in my house, and the my next door neighbor believes something entirely different. They have different traditions, different values, different codes. So what happens? What happens? Eventually, if there's some immorality within either of our homes based on our core beliefs, that immorality begins to erode and affect our children playing one with another. See where we're going at here? Because there's no order, a spiritual order as well as a governmental order. A special people have rules. You cannot be special without rules. Let's go, Elder Lawyer. Let's go to the next one where it says, an ox knoweth his owner. Let's go there. You cut out again, Elder Lawyer.
Sorry about that. Isaiah 1 and 3.
Isaiah 1 and 3. Let's go.
Yes, sir. The ox.
An ox is one of the dumbest animals on earth. It says an ox knoweth his owner. Read that again.
Yes, sir. Isaiah chapter 1, verse number 3. The ox knoweth his owner.
Read.
And the donkey his master's crib.
And a donkey his master's crib. Read.
But Israel doeth not know. My people doeth not consider.
My people don't even consider home. We're looking at everyone else. We're looking to get help from everyone else, or we're looking to blame everyone else, but we don't even know where home is as a people. We have no idea. It says, but Israel don't even consider that if they came home and said, let's get on code with each other. Doesn't matter, who cares what the white man is talking about or this or what they're dealing with. If we can get right with each other, then the conversations can now begin on how to protect ourselves from the outside threat. But how can we protect ourselves from the outside threat when we are aligned with the enemies amongst us, who will always be used to cause chaos? Satanic sentinels, all amongst us, immoral, thieves, robbers, hustlers, all amongst us. And at any time can cause chaos that will allow the outside to come in to bring order, because there is no righteous order. We don't even consider home. Go ahead, Elder Lawyer. Elder Lawyer, it went out again. Are you putting it on mute or something, or? No, I can't hear you, Elder Lawyer. Elder Lawyer, I'll tell you what. I'm going to hold it down. Eventually you can just come over here real quick while I hold it down, because this is going to be tough doing it this way. All right. Hold on 1 second. You just come. Yeah, you just come to me and we'll do it live from here. We'll do it live. All right. So I'm gonna take you off. Don't worry about it. And we'll do it live from here. We'll do it live. I'll do it live. I'll hold it down until you get here. All right. Okay. Yeah, they don't want this broadcast to go down, obviously. 1 second here. 1 second. One second. It's all good. We'll persevere through it. Yeah. 1 second. Okay, jumping right back in. Now, order out of chaos, which means the Freemasons have what you would call a motto that will allow them to rule into perpetuity. As long as there's no order amongst us, they can now progress their agenda and move us accordingly against our will. They'll say, well, because there's all this chaos, we need to bring in this new law. Now, that law will mean what? You and our children, young men being arrested, unjustly by the system for at least 10, 15, 20 years until, they give enough data to say, okay, that didn't work. Let's do something different. But yet we got many brothers and sisters who have lost their lives behind bars. Joe Biden, an example of that. When it came to the Biden law, where they began to incarcerate our people in number for almost anything. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of chaos going on. Brothers shooting each other. Oh, in Chicago, let's bring in the National Guard. Let's lock them up. Boom, 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 boom. This is what they do. They create the chaos so that they can bring the order. And with the order, yes, let's throw them in jail and throw them in jail so that they can work. They can work in these for-profit, corporate-sponsored prisons. Right? They needed free labor. So they caused the chaos to do what? Get access to our children who would work for free. Order out of chaos. Separate the families. Promote feminism or equality. And the feminine, or what you would call the feminist movement, inordinately affects us. Because the other nations know that their women will never be equal. It doesn't affect them like that. Men create, women nest. So that's why they didn't care about feminists going nuts and going out and doing all this crap, because they knew that their women will never attempt to topple them. A white woman isn't trying to topple a white man. A white man have given her power. So they knew that the feminist movement would do what? It would affect us. It would embolden them, our women, against us. So then now we're fighting one against another, where a black man isn't respected altogether. Because why? Because of this movement. But under the order of Melchizedek, the order of priesthood, king and priest, we were respected by default. The men were emboldened by our God. And the women fell in order with and through that particular power. Okay. Now I'm going to show y'all some examples real quick, but before I do that, I'm going to order out of chaos. Lawyer's going to be here in front of us in a moment, but I need y'all to hear this. Order out of chaos. Let's go here. Order out of chaos. Right? It reads. All right, let me blow this up here. It reads, order out of chaos, or Old Latin, orde ab chaos. A Latin expression meaning order out of chaos, a motto of the 33 degree and having the same illusion as luge tempus, which see in this work. The invention of this motto to be attributed to the Supreme Council of the ancient and accepted Scottish Rite of the Freemasons. Right? Order out of chaos. Now, I'm going to show you all a few things. While we are all being caught up in the election chaos that was created on purpose to divert us. While we were all caught up with, well, I would rather have Biden and Kamala because Trump is a racist, as if the other guy isn't. While we were caught up into Breonna Taylor and all this other stuff about injustice and black cops attacking black people or shooting black men. Say their name, say their name. Right? Now, why am I going here? If we had an order according to the righteous order of the Bible, our people wouldn't be easily triggered into their own demise. We wouldn't have to worry about cops shooting us and going and marching for against inequality and all those things, because we will be rallied together to protect ourselves. And if we protect ourselves, we wouldn't have to worry about an enemy coming in to enforce their will on the outside. So while we were all dealing with the chaos of the voting process, which all of you are caught up in, CNN World, UK becomes the first country to authorize Pfizer BioNTech's COVID-19 vaccine. First shots roll out next week. Order out of chaos. UN becomes first country to authorize Pfizer BioNTech's COVID-19 vaccine. First shots roll out next week. This is the bioweapon. Right up under our noses. A strategic plan to harm millions. To harm. How many of you knew that they've already approved and rolled this thing out and ready to inoculate in the UK? See, but some of you in the United States might think, well, this doesn't affect me, right? Let me read it. The United Kingdom has become the Western nation to authorize a COVID-19 vaccine. A landmark, they're celebrating this thing, a landmark moment in the coronavirus pandemic that paves the way for the first doses to be rolled out across the country next week. And look what they're saying here. Help is on the way. Health Secretary Matt Hancock announced Wednesday morning after UK regulators granted emergency authorization for a vaccine made by U.S. pharmaceutical giant Pfizer and its German partner BioNTech. A final analysis of the phase 3 trial of the vaccine shows that it was 95% effective in preventing infections. Now, I don't know what data they're going by, but when you go to the CDC website, they'll tell you that vaccines are not made to stop infections. They'll tell you that. That vaccines were not created to stop infections. A matter of fact, it tells you on their inserts, you can go there yourself to the CDC, it says that it cannot stop you from getting the disease you are inoculating against. Any vaccine, it'll tell you. Because that's not the science. The science is to give you a little bit of the disease, as they claim, so that your body can build an immunity against catching it amongst the public. So that if you do run into it, the viral strong disease, your body already have built up an immunity to fight it. So the science of vaccines isn't to stop infections. The science of vaccines is to get our body adjusted to running into the disease, in public. That's the science of it. That's what they claim the science of it is. This is just sheer science. So when they say that it's 95% effective in preventing infections, that doesn't make any sense. Because you have to catch the disease to fight it. So if they're telling you by getting inoculated from this, you will not catch the disease, then this is contradictory. This is contradicting what it's saying on the CDC site concerning vaccines. But I digress. I'm not going to turn this into a CDC class, right? What we're showing here in a nutshell, folks, is that what? They're rolling this out. The announcement means that the UK has vaulted past the United States, thank you very much, and European Union in the race to approve a vaccine months into a pandemic that has killed almost, as they claim. Yeah, it's disconnecting and connecting. Brothers and sisters, keep in mind, I need y'all to hear this clearly. All the other deaths that we normally have from year to year has gone down. And if you look at the numbers of deaths without putting some disease or something to it, the same amount of people died last year from whatever people died from, died this year. So it's nothing for them to just move things on a spreadsheet into certain categories to fit their narrative for the agenda. Don't look at what they're claiming. Look at how many people actually died year to date. And you'll see it's right on par with last year's deaths. But they're rolling it out. Okay. Now, because Lawyer I have to get Lawyer with me because there was technical issues on the sound side, so I can't do anything about that. I want to show something that popped out, that really jumped out at me, brothers and sisters. I want to show something. Okay? How many people we have in here right now? We have currently 2,887 people. How you doing? How you doing? I see Benita there. How y'all doing, Sister Benita? She's always there. Paula, how are you doing? How you, man? I see a lot of people we can recognize who've been following the church for years. Bless you. Yeah, I know it's buffering. Either we find order or die. But the problem is we have people in our community who knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously or subconsciously fighting against the order when there's really no time left. And that's or code. And figure out what to do about the rest, who are only going to be initiated into an army used by the system once they take this crap to destroy us inwardly. Because this is how it happens. Folks, one moment. We're going to break down how it happens. Do me a favor. Look in my bag and see if I got the connection for this one. The little gray thing in that bag there. Because, brothers and sisters, I'm going to break down how it happens. What happens is that, just grab that for me. Okay, yeah. Folks, order out of chaos. The powers that be understand that during this awakening, God's people would come back and understand that we are. No, there's a gray thing that I connect here. The gray box. Yeah. One moment. One moment. I'll wait. It's buffering, but I'll wait. Don't worry about it, folks. I'm going to get past this. Yeah, the little square thing that connects here. Right? That's it. Yep. So here's an example of how the chaos can affect us or affect any of you. Just say hypothetically something happens where we understand that with taking anything come risk, right? Even if you hear some of the adverts concerning pharmaceuticals, well, you can take it for this specific purpose or this specific sickness, but then you hear of all these different side effects, right? So keep in mind, folks, that they're not telling us the side effects of this thing. So just say hypothetically, we're just dealing with it from the component of, well, I just want to do with my job. I want to make sure, I continue to have a financial stream concerning my employment, on and on and on. Reasons why you're just taking it, not because you fear the disease, but more so you fear losing income. So it's not that we are looking at this as a threat, a fatality threat for us. More so than we're being forced into taking something strictly to do what? To keep our jobs. But then you do this to keep your jobs, and then you have all these unintended consequences when it comes to sicknesses. Now, how does this affect us? Suppose you have people who know better, who understands the order when God says, like back then, the nations couldn't come and give us a fix for sicknesses. No, we're under the order of Melchizedek. The order of Melchizedek, which means the enemy is never employed to give you a cure for anything. That's not their position. Okay. Under the order, we are not to defile our temples in any way, shape, or form. We're not to put aborted fetuses in us. We're not to put other sicknesses in us for no reason. We're compromising our genetics, the temple God gave us. Now, the kingship understood this of our people. That no, according to the law, we're not supposed to administer anything into our bloodstream. It's defiling our temple. It's against our God. It's against, quote unquote, as the nations claim or states, our religion. You're not supposed to shoot something in my bloodstream that belongs to a pig or an animal. Now, if we all were on code with this, then the enemy would need to engage us how they intend to engage us later. Frontal. See? But because our people are ignorant to things and it's not their fault, we don't have a kingship or a priesthood like those that go to the synagogue every Sabbath, right? Jewish people, East Indian people, they have temples that they pray together, they plan together, they deal with businesses and how to actually engage us. All this is discussed amongst these priesthood political circles they call temples or synagogues. We don't have a uniform place in which we can all go together and say, well, this is what the enemy is planning. We are not to take this stuff. We're not to do this because we'll be compromising our own families. Okay? Because the people that are telling us to do this isn't living amongst us. So when the side effects break out and we begin to become contagion, harming each other, all of them on the outside who said take it is going to say, we told you. They're the problem. Let's shut them down. Let's now declare martial law. Let's tape off their areas. We can't let food go in there. We can't let anything go in there because they are the disease. See? Because we're not in the conversations the East Indians are having in their temples or the Jewish people that are having in their temples and all that. We're not in their conversations where they're saying, well, listen, let's just play the game and wait this out. Let's play the game, wait it out, and we'll put out there in the media who's the bad people that are spreading this stuff, right? Let's wait it out. And then we'll put it out there. Well, we want to really go back to normal, but we have to find out what people should take this first. And what they're saying in their private circles is, let's wait it out. We'll be able to go back after we infect them. After it's no longer a scenario in which people are saying, well, they don't know whether or not COVID exists, because once you take the disease itself, COVID becomes real and a contagion amongst blacks, amongst the high risk group, amongst the North American Indians, amongst, you got it, amongst the children of Israel. But because we don't have a unified place, like one thing I can say about the civil rights movement is that Martin Luther King, and believe it or not, that's an example on a smaller level